Getting a divorce in Kentucky is actually simpler than you might think. The spouse filing for divorce must have been a resident or an armed serviceman stationed in Kentucky for 180 days before filing. The divorce may be filed in the county in which either spouse resides. Once the residency requirement is completed, a legal grounds for a divorce must be established. The only acceptable ground for divorce is irretrievable breakdown of the marriage. A final dissolution of marriage will not be granted until the spouses have lived apart for 60 days. Living apart includes living in the same house but not having sex. Kentucky does not require a parenting plan for child custody. The court may award sole or joint custody, considering both spouses equally. Custody is awarded on the best interests of the child and preference of the child, the wishes of the parents, the child's adjustment to his or her home, school, and community, the mental and physical health of all individuals involved, the relationship of the child with parents, siblings, and other significant family members, any evidence of domestic violence, whether the child has been cared for and/or supported by a non-parent primary caregiver, and the intent of the parents in placing the child with a non-parent primary caregiver, i.e., to avoid domestic violence or to allow the parent to seek work or attend school. Any conduct of a parent that does not affect the relationship with the child is not considered. Abandonment of the family home is not considered if the parent fled due to physical harm or threats of harm by the other spouse. Either or both parents may be ordered to provide child support regardless of any marital misconduct and based on the official child support guidelines contained in the statute. These guidelines are presumed correct but may be adjusted based on a child's extraordinary medical or dental needs, a child's extraordinary educational, job training, or special needs, either parent's extraordinary needs, such as medical expenses, the independent financial resources of the child, the combined parental income in excess of the Kentucky Child Support Guidelines amounts, an agreement between the parents on child support provided that no public assistance is being provided, and any other extraordinary circumstance. Also, the court may order a parent to provide health care insurance for the child. Kentucky is an equitable distribution state. The spouses are allowed to keep their separate property acquired before the marriage, and any gifts or inheritances. All other property, marital property, is divided, regardless of marital misconduct, in just proportions, based on the contribution of each spouse to the acquisition of the marital property, including the contribution of each spouse as homemaker, the value of each spouse's separate property, the economic circumstances of each spouse at the time the division of property is to become effective, including the desirability of awarding the family home to the spouse awarded custody of any children, the length of the marriage, and any retirement benefits. Either spouse may be awarded maintenance if that spouse lacks the property to provide for his or her own needs and that spouse is unable to find appropriate employment or is unable to work because of obligations to care for children or others in his or her custody. Marital fault is not to be considered. The award is based on the time necessary to acquire sufficient education and training to enable the spouse to find appropriate employment and that spouse's future earning capacity, the standard of living established during the marriage, the duration of the marriage, the ability of the spouse from whom support is sought to meet his or her needs while meeting those of the spouse seeking support, the financial resources of the spouse seeking maintenance, including marital property apportioned to such spouse and such spouse's ability to meet his or her needs independently, and any share of a child support award intended for the custodian, and the physical and emotional conditions of the spouses. If one spouse disagrees that the marriage is irretrievably broken, the court may delay the divorce proceedings for 60 days and suggest counseling. In addition, at a spouse's request or on the court's own initiative, a conciliation conference may be ordered. Visit us today at www.mydivorcepapers.com and click on Kentucky at the bottom of the page. Let mydivorcepapers.com help you file for divorce today.